busy day. 2 jobs on the schedule. Just picked up a hazmat mattress right now, biohazard. And I'm going to go do another small job for $175. That's really all I have on schedule. But it's something, and I'm happy about it. I feel very comfortable with it because I'm going to use that money to pay my electric bill and my both my internet bills. So anyway, I was in Fort Worth yesterday. No, I'm sorry. I was in Fort Worth last week. I had to go to Elliott's electric shop, and I spent about $832 on some electric cords. They're not cheap. With that said, I want to tell you this. As I was driving down the street in Fort Worth, Texas, I looked over to my left side and I saw the headquarters for another competitor, and now they're doing junk removal. And I was surprised to see that their headquarters, where they park all their trucks and their trailers and their dumpsters or whatever they have. I think now they're doing like dumpster rental, or they have a dumpster truck or something like that. But I saw it all compacted in this little small piece of land that they have. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it's a little smaller than my headquarters in Dallas. That's how small it is. It's just a bit smaller. And they have all these trucks and trailers in there. And I was thinking to myself, wow, my headquarters in Fort Worth is about 8 times larger than their headquarters. And I was thinking, I'm just one dude, and I'm pretty sure that they supply and manage a lot of employees. I'm pretty sure they have like 20 employees in this place. But it was a small little, like a small container, like a 20-foot container, and that's where they had their headquarters. It was a little house, but it was about the size of a small 20-yard container. And I guess that's where they do their operations out of, and then their trucks and trailers are in the lot. And I was just thinking in my head, wow, for college Hunks hauling junk to be next to me and not have a huge operation, that's pretty weird. That's you always think if a customer has a huge headquarters, or it's really cleaned up and really nice, that they have and they make good money, you know. So I kind of questioned it when I saw their yard. It was really shitty. It wasn't cleaned up. It was just somewhere to park. Kind of looked like mine, right? And I was thinking, man, these guys, to be a big company and have as many employees as they do, because I know they have a handful of employees, it's a real shithole. And with that said, I want to tell you something I just came from. I just came from this restoration company just a few minutes ago in Great Lake, Texas. And I'm going to tell you, I walked into this place not knowing what I was getting into. I was picking up a mattress, a biohazard mattress that they don't do and they can't dispose of. And, bro, they had these 2 huge 26-foot trucks that they do the restoration and cleaning, and they, I don't know. They have these dumpster trucks inside the warehouse. They have these huge dumpster trucks. And I guess they rent these dumpster trucks to put all the fire material or whatever gets damaged. They put it inside these trucks. And in these dumpsters, I'm sorry. And then they clean the operate. I don't know what it was, but I'm going to tell you, I walked in this place. The 4 floors were immaculate. Immaculate. They were cleaned up. I noticed these 2 huge trucks, then 4 small trucks outside, like F-150s in these enclosed trailers outside. Brand new, everything's like new. Or if it wasn't, it was the oldest thing I saw in there was like a 2021 or 2022. I mean, these things were nice. These are $100,000 vehicles. And then the property that it was on was immaculate. Everything was stacked up on shelves. The fans were saying, it's a restoration company, so they come in and blow everything out and make everything smell good, and they clean up everything. Anyway, it was beautiful. I walked in there, I was like, holy moly, this place is nice. This blows me away, you know what I mean? It was about maybe a 8,000 square foot warehouse. And I was just thinking, holy cow, this is nice. So the lady said the mattress is on the side, go pick it up. I picked it up, I went through the warehouse, I picked it up, and come out front and we'll pay you. I'm like, okay. So I picked it up, loaded it to my truck, and then I went to the front, and and I opened the front door, and they had a Christmas tree and a flat screen TV, and they had about 8 cubicles and 3 offices to the side. Like the cubicles, right till you open the door, there's a Christmas tree, someone to meet you at the front, an office, receptionist, and then behind the receptionist were about 10 or 12 cubicles. And then to the right side of me were like 2 offices, I guess. And I was like, holy cow, this is a huge operation. And I was like, wow, it's a big operation. I just looked around and I was like, man, they're making some money. So I'm talking to the guy and I'm like, okay, so wow, man, y'all, how many people y'all got today? He goes, we got about 25 people working today. I was like, wow. He goes, yeah, we're really slow today. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, we only have 1 job today. I was like, what? You have 1 job today? He goes, yeah, but it's a, it's a good job. And I said, do you mind if I ask? He goes, yeah, it's about $18,000 job. I was like, $18,000 job to feed 25 people? And I said, well, what's going on? He goes, well, honestly, there hasn't been a lot of fires. There hasn't been a lot of floods lately, and the business is not doing as good as it was 2 years ago. And I was like, wow. He goes, it's people. It's people in general. They don't want to, they get flooded, they clean themselves, they get a fire, they just move away, knock down the building, tear it down, and call a remodeling company to do all the work. And I'm like, wow, man. He goes, yeah, this is like if there's a small fire or something like that. I was like, yeah, I understand. As I'm talking to him, I'm kind of looking at all the computers, all the desk, everything in this area was spotless, by the way. It was absolutely clean. It was nice, in good shape. And it kind of surprised me. They have 1 job. It was an $18,000 job. They have about 20 employees, 25 employees today. Wow, but the offices were nice. Had a clean F-150 out in the front. In the back, they had 2 F-150s with enclosed trailers. And I guess they leave these outside. They had 2 Sprinter vans outside, just like mine, the short bed. And then they had these 2 huge 26-foot box trucks. And then the dumpster trailer. And I was just thinking, man, this is a huge operation. Wow. A huge operation. I don't know if they're going to make it. And I'm going to tell you why. Last week I went to a golf course. Beautiful golf course in Dallas. Beautiful golf course. And I was driving in the golf course, and I was there to pick up just some trash that the offices left next to them. They had these beautiful, like, I guess you could spend the night there or spend the weekend there. You would come in on Friday and leave. You have to be a member of this club and stuff. And the grass was cut. It was a small golf course. It was just, it was beautiful. Little waterfall going down. And oh man, the golf course was beautiful. They had you go into these gates in Dallas. You walk in, you drive into these gates, and you drive around. You get to, and then where the junk was at was behind these offices. Then you have the corporate offices there, and then you have the retail next to it where they sell the jackets and stuff like that. Then you had the caddies, and you had some guys out there golfing. I didn't really see a lot, but I saw some guys in a golf cart. And then I walk over to the right side of the facility, the golf course, and there are about 30 golf cars. And I'm not telling you, they weren't junky. They were nice fucking golf carts. They were beautiful golf carts. I mean, you had that plastic plexiglass in front with the windows and the little holders so you can drink beer and stuff like that with the ice in the back. It was beautiful. I was talking to the guy. I said, oh man, here's the stuff. We're cleaning out the offices. We're going to clean out the offices. I said, okay. And I picked up everything. And I said, okay, cool. And the guy said, just come around and we'll pay you. I'm like, okay. So I picked up everything. It was only a $200 job. It wasn't nothing big. So I left there and I went around the front end of this golf course. And everything was gone. It was empty. And I was like, well, what the hell just happened? And I said, hey, what's going on? He goes, oh, we're closing. I said, oh, you're closing the golf course? And he goes, yeah, we're closing. And they just told us last week, and you're picking up the rest of the trash left over, just the paperwork and shit like that. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. And I goes, but there's people golfing. He goes, yeah, we're trying to make as much as we can before we close. I'm like, you haven't told anyone? He goes, yeah, we haven't told anybody, so don't tell anybody. Well, they're closed now. Their last day was Sunday, which was yesterday, so I could tell this story anyway. I went there last Monday, so they stayed open Monday through Sunday, I guess. And he told me Sunday was going to be the last day this week. And I'm telling you, when the grass was cut, the grass was cut. It was pristine green at this time of the winter. Yeah. Everything was absolutely gorgeous. Everything was gorgeous. The hills, and you could see that little fog over the hills, and the trees were well cut and maintained. And they're closing. And the reason I tell you this story, because you never know how a company's doing financially. You never know the environment that a company is in. You never could know how a company's aura or how a company is feeling inside financially until someone tells you, or until someone closes the door. And there's a sign in front that said closed, went out of business. You never know how a company's doing. I don't know how much money the golf course owns or why they closed. I have no idea. I also don't know how good this restoration company's doing. But you never know how a company's doing until you actually see the doors locked with the chain and closed down. It amazes me the smoke and mirrors that a company can do, as big as they are. And I'm gonna tell you, this golf course makes me look like shit. Makes my business look like shit. But I will tell you something. They might manage 100 employees, but I have more money in the bank than that golf course does, because they can't pay their bills. And that's the truth. That's the honest truth. The number one thing that will make you go bankrupt and close your stores is your employee or your overhead. And you never know the health of a business. You'll never know. It caught me off guard. I have a friend that works at this restaurant, and at night they do salsa dance. I'm a salsa dancer, if y'all didn't know that. I dance salsa. I'm not a salsa dancer. I'm sorry. I dance salsa. And I'm going to tell you, this restaurant is absolutely the place you go to at night. The place you go to at night. You can eat dinner, and then 2 hours later they move the chairs and everything, and then you salsa dance, and they charge $20 per head or something like that. And bro, they have VIP section. You go up to the front, they have security, they have police officer. The guy checks your clothes, be sure you're not wearing you can't go into this place wearing sneakers anyway. And they check you before you come in. They check everything about you, and they'll look at you and they'll let you in. My friend is a DJ there, was a DJ there. I'm telling you, this is a place where girls get dressed up, and they come out and meet other guys, they dance. It's a beautiful, great looking bar downtown. I have a friend that works there. He reaches out to me. He's like, hey, Ricardo, the Wild Salsa closed down. I said, what? He goes, they closed down. And I said, wow, what do you mean they closed down? They're out of business, he told me. I was like, what the heck, bro? What happened? He goes, honestly, I don't know, man, but they're out of business. And I showed up to work, and they said the door on the thing, the guys owe me $800 for the last 2 weekends that I worked there. They won't even pay me that. $800. And they won't even get paid my guy that. Now that's real. That's when you know, or you don't know, a company's in trouble. $800. Can you believe that? The reality of that is crazy. Just thinking about that is crazy. $800. They don't even want to pay my friend that. You know, and the reason I say that, here's the reason I say that. You never know how a company is doing financially, the health of the employees, or how anything's going until they put the sign out front. Smoke and mirrors sometimes, guys. Smoke and mirrors. All that lavish stuff they're doing and nothing to show for it. And that's how I look at it. It's surprising to me. Anyway, I thought I'd let you know those stories because I just saw one just now, and I don't know how this restoration company is doing. I know they got badass equipment. I'll tell you that much. They got some bad. It makes my equipment look like crap. But I will tell you, those trucks are not paid for. No way those trucks are paid for. There is no way. They don't make that much business. They don't make that much business. I'll leave with that. Y'all have a great day. Have a good week of work, man. See you later.